Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the interior/exterior for my prison. And I shouldn't have to tell you that to follow this video along, you should really have the prison built for yourself already. That's the building on the screen in front of you. If you don't already have this, then check out the card system, check out the description below. I'll be leaving links to the prison in both of those places, and you can follow that tutorial along. You'll end up with something that should look identical to this, and then you can come back to this video and you can build the inside and the outside with me. That's the card system and the description below. It's kinda mandatory to follow along with this tutorial. So, once you have the prison right in front of you and you want to decorate it a little bit, you actually want to use the thing instead of just using the actual raw building like this is what you want to do. So we're going to start off with the inside of the prison first, and we actually have to do a couple of things to make this thing habitable. So grab yourself some stone bricks and maybe grab some torches as well if you want to light the place up a little bit. The first thing that we have to do is put floors into the prison. We don't have to add too many of them. We only have to add like 2.5. So the first floor for the prison is right at the ground level. It's actually directly on the ground right now. So like on top of the layer of grass that you have right at the bottom of the prison, you just want to completely fill the area in with stone bricks. I've already done it a little bit here for the entrance, but you want to fill the entire ground level in with stone bricks like that, just all the way around. The second floor is going to be here. It's where the horizontal layer of stone bricks is in the prison, like midway up the prison. It's like where all of the iron bars are. You guys can see it. It should be fairly obvious where this level has to be. It's kind of like clearly marked out. You probably would have figured it out anyway. It's like where all of these rows of stone bricks are. The third level is, well, where these rows of stone bricks are. It's like where the roof is, like on the outside, you want to extend that out onto the inside of your prison. So it's like where the roof is, the actual roof, you also want to do a layer of bricks here. The reason that you want to have that is because you can actually get up onto the roof, so we actually have to have some way to like get in and out. Like we have to build staircases and stuff, and there's a little building that we have to get up into so that we can actually get out onto the roof. So it's kind of mandatory that we actually have to fill the roof in. So we've got to add all of those 3 levels. We've got to do the ground floor, we've got to do the second floor, and we've got to do the roof. I've actually almost done like the 3rd level. There's really not that much to it. That's why I said you've got to do like 2.5. And plus, you also want to do the bit right at the front of the prison, just above like where the entrance is here. The reason that you want to do that is that's because the warden's office is actually going to be like right here, and obviously you don't want to be looking up to the roof. So also fill this in. I'm going to do that. It's going to take quite a while, so I'm going to be back once I've finished it. I expect that you guys will also be working on this. I'll be back in just a second, but I'm sure that you guys won't be done with it by the time that I'm back. Alright, so I have completely filled in all of the floors, plus something that I've done is I have lit this place up so that we can actually see. You don't have to apply this much light if you don't want to. The reason that I'm doing it is for the tutorial, really just so that everybody can see everything properly. You might want to leave it a little bit darker. I mean, this is of course a prison, and this is the ground floor. As you can see, that's completely filled in, and if we move up to the second floor, we don't have staircases yet. The second floor is the exact same, and you can imagine that the 3rd floor, I'm not going to show it you because it's so small, you'll see it later anyway, also the same. So, once you yourself have every single one of those floors completely filled in exactly like this, you can progress on to the next part. And if you are working on it, I imagine you will be, pause this video, come back to it once you have actually filled in the floors for yourself. So, the next order of business, we're probably going to take care of the staircases next. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. We're not going to do the staircases. We'll do something else. So, all of these pillars of stone bricks have to be connected together. These are all going to form rooms. Take out your regular bricks. Also, take out some iron bars. also grab some polished andesite. You probably don't need too many more materials. So the layout is going to look a little bit like this. So starting on the ground floor, right at the front of the prison, right here, you want to connect these two parts together. You want to connect the front part where the entrance is going to be to this center part of the prison, and you want to do that with two walls of bricks like this. What we're going to have here, like just as soon as you get into the entrance, we're going to have kind of like a little sort of reception area where people would sign in, where the prisoners would be brought in and tagged or whatever they do to prisoners. I've got no idea. I don't know. Funnily enough, never been to prison. Don't know what happens. So this is going to be a reception area. This little section here is going to kind of like be a metal detection / scanning area. Make sure nobody brings anything in, nobody's smuggled anything in. What we have here is a hallway area. On the ground floor, we have nothing but cells, and these cells are going to look a little bit like this. So each one of the cells are identical to each other. They're all the same dimensions. They all have the same things in them, and the doors look like this. The doors to each cell are right next to the center pillar between each cell. So for instance, like the doors to this cell will also be here right next to the center pillar, and the paired cell will also be here, if you guys can see. So we have two cells here, we have two cells here. We're also going to have obviously 4 more cells on the opposite side of the ground floor. So we'll have 2 here, this is on the front left hand side of the prison, and we will also have 2 here. This is the back left hand side of the prison. And each one of these, hang on, let me finish the doors and then I'll discuss. So each one of these cells have iron bars on them. You only have iron bars on the part of the cell that is visible from the hallway. So in the same line that we have the doors, we also have bars. Obviously, you have to be able to look inside and check on each one of the prisoners, and you don't want them to escape, so we have bars like this. This is going to be on each one of the 8 cell doors. In between the cells, we're going to have brick walls. So in between the cells, we'll have brick walls like this. There's nothing fancy about these, there's nothing interesting about these, they're just plain brick walls. They'll take a little bit of time to do because of course you've got to do, well, I don't know, like 4 of these, and you've got to do 8 cell doors. Plus, something else to mention, the back part of the prison, so the part that's opposite to the front part of the prison, we also want to have bricks here. Like, we want to have bricks leading to the outside part of the prison, so it's like just part of the hallway, because of course you can get, there's like a big giant yard on the back of the prison where the prisoners are able to go and frolic outside there and do whatever they do. I don't know, go and walk around in circles with each other or whatever it is they do. And we just have a wall back here on each side, and these are going to be walls that allow us to transport the prisoners through and walk back out here. So that's the ground floor. All we have to do really is add all of the iron bars onto the doors, which I'm going to do right now. This is going to take quite a bit of time. There's no real reason for me to include this in the tutorial, so I'm going to work on adding all of these iron bars on the doors, and then we can discuss the second floor. So I'll be back in a second once I've got all of that done. Okay, so I've now finished each one of the 8 cells. That means that all of the cells have walls separating them, we have doors to each cell, and we also have iron bars, making sure that nobody can get out. So, once you yourself have taken care of each one of the 8 cells on the ground floor, this is what you want to do next. And of course, pause this if necessary if you haven't got that taken care of. Once you've finished it, press play and you can continue on with me. So we're now going to head up to the second floor here, and we're going to take care of all of the rooms on the second floor before we add in floors and we add in some of the more detailed parts. So on the second floor, what we want to do is, just as we have at the entrance, we want to have 2 walls of bricks, which kind of like elongate this room that we have on the second floor right at the front, this is actually going to be the warden's office. We're going to keep this pretty big, although all that's pretty much in there is a big chair and a little bit of a carpet and some bookshelves and stuff. We don't have anything too crazy in there, but the warden has a pretty long office, so we want it to be separated from all of the other rooms with two walls like this. The two walls that we have on the front, we also want to apply to the back. This is where the staircases are going to go. We're going to have two staircases in this prison. We're going to have one that brings us up to the second floor here and obviously takes us down to the first floor, and we're also going to have one that takes us up to the third floor, the roof, and we're also going to have the same one which will bring us back down to the second floor. So that's what these two walls are. They're going to separate the two rooms that we're going to have on either side of this particular part of the prison. So we just want to have the bricks here. So you want to have something which should look, that's the front, that's the back. Now, not everything else is as simple as the ground floor. So what do we want to have on the left-hand side here? So on the left-hand side, this is the front right-hand side of the prison, actually. So grab some stuff that we can just mark this out. We've grabbed like quartz slabs and grab like white carpet and black carpet, and grab some sort of like chair or something. Grab like quartz stairs. So what do we have here? In the front right hand corner of the prison, which is this part right here, we have solitary confinement. We have solitary confinement here. So this is going to be on the front right hand side of the prison, which means it's a very, very small room, and we want to have solitary confinement confined. So we want to add a wall which separates the solitary confinement cell. We just have one of these cells, which separates the solitary confinement cell from everywhere else. This is the cell where we have the quartz floor. Right next to it, which is this room right here, we're going to have a security room. So you know how all of the prisoners are always being watched on cameras? We're going to have a security room. So this is just to mark this out. We can then fill in the walls of these two rooms. So these are the walls taking us out to the hallway. We also have obviously entrances to take us into these rooms. These look like all of the other doors that we have for the prison. So we have one room here, or we have one door here, and we have one door here. So this is like the front left-hand quadrant, or the front right-hand quadrant, I'm sorry, the front right-hand quadrant of the prison. We have two split rooms, one of which, this left one that we have here, the front right-hand corner of the prison, we have a solitary confinement area, and on the opposite side of that wall, we just have a little bit of like a security area where there's like loads of monitors and stuff. So that's those two rooms taken care of. On the opposite wall right here, if I'm not mistaken, we have the shower area. So this is where the showers are going to be. This means that this area here is actually two rooms. Like, we're not going to split this room up. The shower area is just completely, like, it's just two rooms. So you can just fill in this wall, and we just have one entrance into the shower room, and it's going to be right here in this corner. And then we can just fill the rest of the... Ooh, what am I doing? So we can then just fill the rest of this wall in with bricks. Also, the next two rooms, or the next two parts of the prison, I should say. That's the shower room. The next two parts of the prison, which are this part and this part, these also are kind of like a double rooms. So we just want to throw an entrance in these rooms, and we just want to kind of like wall off this thing from the hallway. So the two areas that we have left, we have like a cafeteria for the prisoners where they can actually eat and all of that stuff, and we also have a visiting room for the prisoners. So this is actually where the cafeteria is for them. I have the entrance. Where did I put the entrance again? I believe that I put the entrance right here, as a matter of fact. And that's just going to be like the polished andesite entrance as usual. And on the opposite side here, we have the visitors room, which is going to just be regular bricks. So we just want to have this walled in with our bricks. This will just take a second here. we just want to fill this in with bricks. We're going to look into these rooms in more detail once we can freely travel around the prison. So we're going to need a couple of things first. So those are all of the walls taken care of, minus the warden's office. So the warden's office, which we have right here, it's actually going to be a double door. No, you know what, it won't. It will just be a single door. We'll have a single door for the warden's office right in the center of the wall here. We'll give it a fancier door, though, and we'll also have, like, Warden Montgomery, or something. Like, we'll have a sign above the door that says, like, Warden Montgomery's office, or something like that. I don't know, I've just made up that name. So that's where the warden's going to be. You might even want to do a different texture for the warden's office if you want. So perhaps we want to put, like, something fancier. Maybe what sort of material could we use for this? I'm not sure what material that I actually want to use. Maybe the entire wall could be andesite. Nah, that'd look ridiculous. What can we use? Maybe we'll give him a cobblestone wall, and maybe we'll put some, like, some chiseled stone bricks in there to make it look a little bit fancier. So maybe just so you can immediately see that, hey, this is a little bit different. This is the warden's office. Maybe just to kind of like separate it from all of the other rooms, we'll just make it look a bit different. I'm not saying that you have to do this style, or that you should even do this style, because I think this is going to look really, really ugly. But I do think that it'd be good if the warden's office was a little bit different in relation to everything else. Maybe you even want to put some well, that's all the material's gone. Maybe you even want to put some windows just above the door. So maybe something like that. Maybe, oh god, that's ugly, but you guys get the idea. Maybe make it a little bit different from the rest of the prison. I might change that, but you guys get the point. That's the warden's office. So that's all of the rooms sorted out. What we now want to do is we want to add staircases that make it easy to travel between different parts of the prison. So to make the staircases, we're going to need some polished andesite, we're going to need some stone brick stairs, and you might also want to grab some torches. So, starting on the ground floor, looking towards the back of the prison, this is what we want to do. So, we want to be on the left-hand side of the wall, and we want to be on the third stone brick coming into the wall. So, just right of the stone brick pillar, we want to be on the first block, second block, third block. Place an andesite. Place diagonal andesites until you hit the floor for the second floor like this. So you just then want to destroy these two blocks here, and you want to place stone bricks going right of each one of those andesites. So you want to place stone brick stairs going to the right of each one of those andesites. You want to destroy blocks so that you can actually travel onto the second floor. Once you have a stone brick stairs which is in line with the actual second floor, you can then place stone bricks here to cover up any gaps that you may have left in destroying stuff, and then you want to add an additional layer of polished andesite going right of each one of those stone brick stairs. So like this. Once you've done that on the left, you want to do the same thing on the right. So you want to be on the third block coming in from the front of the right hand side here. Place diagonal polished andesite until you eventually, boom, hit the floor there. Then stone brick stairs, we're destroying things left and right. Then just place stone brick stairs over and over and over again until you eventually break onto the second floor, in which case one will go there. We'll destroy a couple of stone brick stairs, and then we'll just place some more polished andesite next to each one of those stairs to give us something which should look a little bit like this. And the reason that we brought the torches is because this may be a little bit dark, so we may just want to place torches behind each one of those stairs, and we just want to have something which looks a little bit brighter. If that isn't bright enough for you, place some torches on the andesites that you use for the stairs. I personally like things a little bit brighter, but because it is a prison, you might not want this place completely illuminated. I mean, it is supposed to be a bit dark and damp, and it is supposed to be a bit miserable in here, isn't it? Really, when you think about it. So, just close up all of the spaces that you don't need to travel between the floors. That's the first floor taken care of. Now, the second floor is a little bit easier. It's only one single staircase. So for the staircase that takes us up to the third floor, you're on the second floor, and you want to be in the middle block between, like, this stone pillar on the left and this stone pillar on the right. So you're on the center block. You want to count in, and you want to find the third block again. So this is the first block, second, third. Place a stairs there. place andesite either side of those stairs, and then you just want to do diagonal andesite until you reach a very, very similar deal that you had like with the ground floor. So you want to keep placing andesite until you eventually hit the roof. So we just want to keep doing this. It'll take a second or two just because I'm a little bit clumsy. Boom. And then we just need to destroy a couple of stone bricks. We'll replace what we didn't really need to destroy. We then need to place stone brick stairs in between each one of the andesites. We need to place one here as well, and we might also want to light up this staircase a little bit because we are trying to make this nice and bright, or at least I am, not only for the tutorial but because it's my preference. And so we can now break onto the second floor here. So on the second floor you might want to light this up a little bit just so that you can see where you're going, just so you know where you're going. And you might also want to section this bit off, so when you get onto the third floor here where the roof is, you might just want to make sure that you can't like walk right all the way to the like front window of the building. So you might want to add some bricks here, and you might also want to clean up the roof a little bit here, although I like this little bit being a bit more open just because it feels less claustrophobic, and this allows you to walk onto the roof. So coming back down, we just want to add a couple of touches. So we want to add, I've got rid of my materials again, we want to add some nether brick fence, and we just want to add some behind this staircase here that takes us to the third floor. So we just want to add some nether brick fence that kind of like separates the two staircases, so you can't like walk up the staircase and then walk directly down there. We want to have these kind of like sectioned off with fence. And then getting up to the third floor, we just want to add some nether brick fence just to make it look a little bit nicer, I think, all the way around here. And that's all you have to do really for that. And maybe if we come down to this floor, maybe we'll make it so that nobody can like hide under the stairs. So why don't we... Oh, we can get rid of that torch, can't we? Why don't we just have some nether brick fence that leads us out? That's wrong. Oh, so we can keep that torch. Why don't we add some nether brick fence which stops anybody from hiding underneath the staircases? Why don't we do that? Just so that nobody's going where they're not supposed to go. So we'll just add another torch. There's nothing to add a torch. I really hate the fact that I keep destroying all of my materials. It drives me a little crazy. So there we go. Nobody can hide under the stairs now or anything like that. So those are all of the staircases taken care of. Why don't we customize the entire ground floor, and then we'll move on to the second floor, and then we'll talk about the outside of the prison, because that's all that's left now. Now that we have all of the rooms and we can travel between each one of the floors, we have to customize the rooms. Okay, so let's talk ground floor. We'll start at the entrance and then we'll work on to the cells. So I'm going to get rid of all of my materials once again, and I'm going to grab polished andesite. I'm also going to want to grab some plant pots and your flower of choice, like some red tulips or something, or whatever you like. Also going to grab some doors. Some dark oak doors just to make it look a little bit nice. Also going to grab some bricks because we'll also need those. And then for the next room we will need some stone brick stairs. We'll also need a little bit of black wool, and I'm also going to use a little bit of quartz as well. Oh, and I'm also going to use some nether brick fence, and that'll do us for this part. So for the entrance, first of all, we want to make the entrance look a little bit nicer on the inside. So, where you have like glass and stuff, just clean that up with some andesite, like that. Now, we also have to kind of like, you can see where we have this stone brick thing, like these pillars of stone bricks on the left and right next to the windows. We want to add a layer of bricks in between them, so we want to turn this little entrance into its own little room. We can also add some torches here later if we feel the need, so we just want to turn it into its own little room. Then for this we want to add some doors. So in the third row of bricks horizontally, we want to knock those out, starting from the bottom, like 1, 2, 3, and we want to replace that with andesite. We then want to leave 2 spaces on the left and right hand side, and then we just want to do vertical rows of andesite, and then we can just destroy these, and we can just destroy these 2 spaces on the left and right, and now you can see we kind of have like 2 entrances which lead us into the prison, and you can just place some doors in those 2 spaces if you want to, so some oak doors. Then you can, with your polished andesite, you then just want to do a bit of a desk area. So you can see where we have this andesite on the left next to the door, the ground one. We want to bring it out by 2, then go right by 4, connect it back to the equivalent point on the opposite side. Then if you want to, you can also add like a bit of a chair here behind the desk. You can add some flower pots on the corners of the desk, and you can add some red tulips in those. That makes it just look a little bit nice and brighter. That's kind of the little entrance to the prison, and what you might also want to do for the prison, you might want to add some doors. So you might want to add doors here, boom, boom, walk into the prison. Then behind the desk, so behind this area, behind the entrance, we once again want to kind of like separate this room from the rest of the prison. It's a bit of a dark room, isn't it? We might even want to add some light to this thing, but we'll do that in a second. Let us lock ourselves in this room first of all. So we just want to have something which should look like this. You can see that we have a room here, and actually, you know what, we'll get rid of the tulips in the flower pot, and we will grab some torches because it'll be easier if this is a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to add torches above the entrances here into this room. And as a matter of fact, there are also entrances into the prison, and they're kind of like in the same place. Yeah, you just want to add like your regular looking doorways, like here on the left, leading us into the prison, and then like here on the right, leading us into the prison. So it's just like your regular run-of-the-mill andesite little doorway, like this, and then your like oak doors here and here. And you might also want to, you might actually want to make those like security doors, possibly. I don't know. Why am I trying to walk through that door? I don't know. I'm trying to light it up. That's what I'm actually trying to do. So what this area is, it's just kind of like a checking area, a bit of a scanning area. So the bottom right hand corner of this left door, place an andesite in front of it, like this. Then go up from that andesite by 2 towards the other door. That's 1, 2. Then go right of that andesite by 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then want to kind of like place a stone brick stairs coming back towards you this way, facing that direction. You then want to place a polished andesite coming towards you from that stairs, and then you want to go left by 4 with your andesite. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place a stone brick stairs here, facing you in this position. Fill the center of that shape that you've made in with black wool. And what you then want to do is you want to take this polished andesite, this 6th andesite that we then placed a stairs next to. We want to go up from the 6th andesite by 2 of your andesite. You then want to go left by 3, that's 1, 2, 3. You then want to go down by 1, but from that 3rd block you also want to come towards you by 1, 2. Connect that to the ground, then 1, 2, connect down to the ground to give you this. You can then fill this part of the machine in with a block of quartz, like that. So this is kind of like one of those weird x-raying machines where you'd like get metal detected and stuff. So that's what this sort of area is for. It's really, this fits more in sort of like a aeroplane environment, but I didn't have any other way to convey this in a prison, and I figured that you'd kind of have something like this before they'd let you in. Also, we want to have some nether brick fence that kind of like separates like where the officers would be and where like everybody else would be. So like this is the side that everybody else would walk in, and this is the side that the officers would walk in. And that's a little room that separates like the entrance from the prison. So this is what this is. Moving on into the actual prison part itself, all we have on the ground floor are cells. The cells are relatively easy, but we do need another host of materials to make them. So get rid of everything you have and grab these. You'll want to grab yourself some quartz stairs. Also grab yourself some, what am I looking for? Some quartz block. You'll want to grab some dark blue carpet. Then grab some stone wall. Also grab some dark oak wood planks, some oak wood planks, grab some oak wood slabs. You'll also need some beds, and also grab yourself some signs. Where are my signs? There they are. Perfect. This is all we need to do each one of the cells. The cells are easy, they don't have much in them, as I would expect them not to have. I wouldn't imagine that the cells would have much in them. So each one of the cells are identical. I'm going to show you how to make a pairing of cells, and once you've done one cell, you've done them all, but I'll make a pairing of cells so you can see how to do each one of the 4 sets. So for this cell in particular, this is like the front left-hand corner cell, you want to start off with the bed. There's a bed here in this back right-hand corner next to the wall of the other cell, and you want to go around this bed with cobblestone wall. You then want to place 2 oak wood planks above that bed. You then want to place a bed on top of the planks. And I'm not sure if there's a better way of doing this or not, so you might want to do something other than this if you know how. Destroy each one of the planks and quickly place a sign in place of the planks. This will keep the bed suspended in the air. Take the front corner of your cobblestone wall, raise it up until it's equal height with the bed, connect it to each one of the walls. You have bunk beds. Then, on the opposite side of the cell, right in the corner here, we have a block of quartz, we have upside down quartz stairs and a regular facing quartz stairs in front of and on top of that quartz. We have blue carpet on the outer part, that's a toilet. Now, for a little wash basin, just 1 block away to the right, we have a block of quartz. On top of that, we have blue carpet. It doesn't have to be blue carpet. If you want it to be, you could use something like, I quite like these for tap handles. I like tripwire hooks. But you'd have to make these sink a little bit bigger. You'd have to have like a quartz stairs here. You'd have to have like a tripwire hook coming off the wall. And you would then have to have some blue carpet here. So if you wanted to, that'd be a sink. Looks very similar to the toilet though. That's the only problem. Unless of course you use the different material. Maybe you want to use polished andesite instead. And there you have, you kind of have like a sink. But once again, it looks a little bit different. As a matter of fact, you know what might look good? What might look good is, we'll get rid of the quartz stairs, cauldron instead. You might want to use like a cauldron. And that way we wouldn't even need the andesite. Hey, I think that's a better wash basin. So there we have kind of like a wash basin. That's what we're going to use instead. So there we go. What else do we have in this room? Well, we have a little bit of a... I don't know what these are. It's kind of like a drawers sort of thing. Although I'm not sure that they'd actually have these in a prison. And in front of the toilet, you want to leave a gap of 2, so that'll be 1 and 2. And then coming left towards the front of the cell, you want to have 1 oak wood plank, or 1 dark oak wood plank, followed by 1 oak wood plank, 1 dark oak wood plank. So that'll leave a gap of 2 between the bars and a gap of 2 between the toilet. It's just a little something to add here. And on the opposite wall here, we just want to have an oak wood slab shelf. This oak wood slab shelf is in line with the second layer of cobblestone fence, and it is 1 row away from the bed and 1 row away from the actual door of the cell. This is what a cell looks like. Very easy. If you want to make it look a little bit nicer, you might want to just add some random things. Like you might want to add some like buttons in front of like the dark oak wood blocks here. You might want to add that. On the shelf, maybe you don't want a shelf. Or can you add this? You might want to add like a plant pot if you can. No, you can't, damn. You might just want to add some things to make the cells each different if you want to, and maybe a little bit brighter or not bright. You might want to add some artwork. You might want to do anything to the cells to make them look a little bit different. I'm keeping them all the same. This is a first cell. There's also going to be a door on the cell, so each one of the doors are actually mechanical, so no one can obviously escape. And I would also use like a lever system as well, so you might want to have like here, and maybe like here and here. So that's the first cell. Looks pretty good. Let's work on the second cell. So the second cell is identical. We have the bed up against the wall, so in this back corner we have the bed, we have the cobblestone going around the bed. We then want to place 2 oak wood planks above the bed on top of the oak wood planks, destroy the oak wood planks, place signs, then do cobblestone wall going all the way around the bed like this. Now you have bunk beds. What we can then do is on this opposite wall, we want to have a toilet. So we want to have a quartz block, then a quartz stairs in front of that block, quartz stairs on top. Get rid of the quartz, get blue carpet, place blue carpet, oh, there's a torch there, place blue carpet on the outer quartz stair. Then 1 row away, we want to have our tripwire hook and cauldron sink. So a cauldron here, tripwire hook just above it, and I think that that makes a pretty good basin. You can fill it with water if you so choose. Then we have kind of like a little bit of cabinet. So 2 spaces away from the toilet, so that's 1 and 2. We want to have 1 dark oak wood plank, 1 oak wood plank, 1 dark oak wood plank. We also want to have a shelf that is in line with the second bunk that is 1 row away from the door, 1 row away from the bunk. Not here, here, 1 row away from either. If you want to, you can make this whole place look a little bit more interesting. You can add some buttons to here. Maybe if you wanted to, you could even add, for instance, an item frame, and you could add a, what am I looking for? Like a stone sword, and like an item frame here, and a stone sword right here, and that could be like a shiv or something. Maybe you'd even want to add like one of those above the bed. Can we add one here? Maybe like a shiv just above the bed. Again, if you want to make them a little bit more interesting, you could even add some like hidden chests. Like you could hide a chest like right out of kind of like the officer's view, maybe like just right here, or you could like hide a chest here or something. If you want to make the rooms a little bit different, you might want to do that, but that's how each one of the rooms are going to look. If you want to customize them. I'm not going to, because I can't imagine that they would actually be customized in real life. And obviously flip for the doors, keeping those mechanical. So those are 2 cells. I'm going to go away. I'm going to do all of the cells. I'll be back once I've done literally that exact same thing to each one of the other 6 cells. Back in a moment. Alright, so I have completed each one of the 8 cells. All of them, for the most part, are pretty much the same, except this end one here, which I had a couple of things, so I had like a chest and some shivs and stuff, but for the most part, all of them are the same. Once you yourself have taken care of each one of the 8 cells, and if you've customized them the way you like, and if you've messed with them, if you've added some artwork, maybe a little secret tunnel between each one of the 2 cells, maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't, who knows. But once you have completed all of those 8 cells, we can now move on to the second floor. And obviously pause this if you are still working on any of those. So moving on to the second floor. What are we going to do up here? Well, first of all, I think that since it's looking us right in the face on the second floor, we'll take care of the warden's office. For the warden's office, we don't need too much. Grab yourself some dark oak wood planks, some birch wood planks. Also grab these same stairs, so dark oak wood stairs, birchwood stairs. Also grab some birchwood slabs. Also grab some red carpet. Where's the red carpet? Roll out the red carpet. Also grab some like bookshelves. And you might want some other stuff as well, maybe like some item frames and maybe like I don't know, like a map or something crazy. So once you've got all of these materials, this is what you want to do. So first of all, we're going to kind of like make a throne for the warden. That's how I describe it. So right at the front of the prison, 1 block away from the windows, we kind of want to have a row of 3 dark oak wood planks here. Then we want to have dark oak wood planks. Yeah, we want to have kind of like an N shape with our dark oak wood planks here towards the window. Then do birchwood stairs in between the N shape. Then do birchwood stairs at the 2 end corners here. Do a dark oak wood plank right in between them, and then do birchwood slabs like right on top, and there we have kind of like a fancy-ish looking chair. Maybe you want to make it look a bit different, maybe you want to add stuff to it, take stuff away, add some different materials, up to you, but I think that that's a fancy-ish looking chair. We now have to make a desk, so the desk is going to be 1 block away from the wall either side, and it is going to be 1 block away from the chair. So we're just going to have 2 dark oak wood stairs on the left and right hand side here, and we're going to have we're going to have a desk which is, shall we say, like 4 blocks thick. So like 4 blocks running all the way to where we have these stone bricks in the wall. We then want to connect either side of the desk together with some birchwood slabs. It's just a fancy-ish looking desk. If you want to customize that even more, you can. If you, for instance, want to knock out the 2 end rows, and if you want to replace those with, let's say, some dark oak wood slabs, you can. If you want to make it look a little bit fancier, and it does, that looks a little bit fancier. And maybe what you also want to add just above the warden's chair, like behind him, you might want to add an item frame and an empty map. But imagine that that's actually a full map, like it's kind of like a globe, a map of the world sort of deal. What else can we have? So adding a little bit of carpet just in front of the desk, so just leading up to it, just one row away from the door, we're going to have a nice little bit of red carpet. This is where the prisoners will stand and grovel in front of the warden if need be. We're also going to have some bookshelves, but we don't just want bookshelves, we want like dark oak wood planks here, and then let's say like here and here. Maybe you want to use a variety of materials. Maybe we want to use like birchwood planks as well, so like here, and then maybe we want to add like bookshelves. I don't like that, so we'll have like a row of bookshelves here at the top, and then maybe like here, and then possibly we can add something in between these. So maybe we could add some like flower pots or something like that. That wouldn't be too bad. Or maybe we want to have the same thing on the other side as well. Maybe we want to have... I hate the fact that I've not got all of these materials out. Maybe we want to have like dark oak wood planks here. Is it as big as a carpet? It is. And then here and here on the ends, isn't it? Then dark oak wood planks here. Bookshelves all between. Here, and then some flower pots in between, and then if you want to, you can add some flowers just to make it look a bit more interesting. This is Warden's office. Tulips don't really work in the... Nah, I don't like tulips here. I'd use probably like a smaller flower, but you might want to add that, and I imagine that the Warden's office would also be a little bit brighter, so you may want to add some, like on top of the bookshelves maybe, and possibly behind the door, so here and here, just to light things up a bit, just to make it a little bit brighter. Who wants to work in a really dark, dank, deep, disgusting, more D words office? No one does. So this is Warden's office. I think it looks pretty good. It's not too fancy, it's not too elaborate. I think that it'd probably look a little something like that. And you might also want to add a door on the office. I'll do that later once I'm doing all of the doors for the second floor. So that's the Warden's office. You might want to make something like that. So, on the front right-hand corner of the prison, where we have these two split rooms here, in the very end room, we have solitary confinement. To make this, we just need some block of quartz, and we need some quartz slabs. For the outer parts of the wall, we want to have just quartz. So, we want to make this room white, very much like, kind of like, you know, like a mental institution or something, where they put people in, like, white padded rooms. Very, very similar concept here. We just want to have, like, white walls just everywhere. So, everywhere where you would usually have the bricks visible, where you would have any sort of material visible, we just want to have completely white walls. Maybe you want to make the material a bit darker. Maybe you want to have like a completely stone solitary confinement. I don't want stone. I think I want to have the white walls. Just, you know what? I'm honestly a little bit bored of the stone. That's why I think I made this particular room the solitary confinement. I think that's why I decided to make it out of quartz instead of anything else. So you don't have to make it out of quartz if you don't want to. I'd probably make it out of stone if I was going for something a little bit more realistic. Stone, really dark looking, really disturbing, just nothingness in the room. I think that's where stone would be a little bit better. Plus, I'm keeping this room pretty dark. I'm going to keep this nice and dark, and we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Oh, we also need we need a bed in here. We are giving them a bed. There's just one single bed in the corner, and then it's just quartz slabs everywhere on the ground, and the bed is kind of like sunk into the floor. There's nothing to do in here. There's no extras. There's no toilet. There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing in here. Or shall we give them a toilet? We might give them a toilet. Let's make a different style of toilet though. Let's like take some polished andesite and we'll raise it off the ground, and we'll have like stone brick stairs here, and we'll have some cyan carpet, because why not, make it different. And let's grab that cauldron, which we can place. What can we place? Oh, hang on. Place that underneath the cauldron, and now we've got nothing to place. So we can just have little walkways up to the toilet. There we go. And there's nothing to place the hook on, actually. So maybe we'll have, like, the cauldron here. And we'll have, like, the quartz slab here. And we'll have, like, the polished andesite. And then we'll have the tripwire hook for the actual Oh, it needs to be placed on. There we go. Okay, there we go. We got it. So we have the toilet. We have that. You might even want to do the same thing for the bed, actually. Maybe we don't embed the bed in the floor. Maybe we have it raised off the floor like this, and maybe we just place some slabs going all the way around. Maybe we raise up this whole little entire area here, so you kind of like walk onto this, and there we go, and then we can travel. We knock this block out here. We knock this block out, and we have to elongate, I believe. No, we don't have to elongate this, do we? We can just place a slab underneath here, and we can walk in and out, and we can still have the mechanical door, because we obviously want a mechanical door on the solitary confinement, and that'll just go right here. And will we be able to travel through the door easily? So if we have this here, and we have the andesite, will we be able to go through the door easily? Yeah, okay, so we can still walk in and out of the room. There we go. That's all I was worried about. Perfect. So that's solitary confinement. Let me just show you once again. That's solitary confinement. Not much going in here. Bed, hand basin, so you can wash, toilet, so you can, well, dispose of stuff. And that's pretty much like the solitary confinement cell. Right next to it here is the security office. We already made most of the template for the security cameras. So you need some polished andesite for this. You need some black wool. Maybe we'll mix it up a bit. Maybe grab yourself some stone slabs. So you kind of want to house the monitors like this. So you kind of want to have like a rectangular shape here, and you kind of want to have dotted in between them in the middle row like stone, black, stone, black, stone, black, etc, etc. But I think I'm going to put something in between the monitors, just a different material. Maybe something like chiseled bricks, just to make it look a bit more interesting like this. And then maybe on top of the bricks I'll have like stone slabs, and these are just monitors. And you might want to have some like buttons next to them as well. So here, and here. Just draw that torch. So now you have monitors. You might even want to have like polished andesite coming out, so you have kind of like little workstations like this. Possibly you might also want some chairs as well. We're going to go with, let's go with dark oak wood stairs chairs, and these will probably be positioned here, 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 and here like that. And this is kind of a bit of a security room. You might also want to light this up a bit better as well. Maybe like a stone slab, like a stone slab shelf just above it, and you might want to have kind of like a polished andesite. I don't know what that is, but it looks like something, doesn't it? And like I said, you might want to light this room up a little bit. You might want to add stuff. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even add some like paintings to like some of these. Obviously not that size, not that size, not that size. There we go. Like some of these cameras, you might just want to add some paintings just to show that stuff's going on. Obviously they don't really correlate with what's going on in the prison, but I think they add something. So that's a security room. Add a door onto this, you'll be done. Okay, so we have 3 other rooms to do. Let's get cracking. Since we're on this side of the prison, now that we've taken care of the isolation and the security office, why don't we take care of the showers? So I designed the showers to be on this part of the prison, although it really doesn't matter. Any double areaed room like this you can turn into the showers if you prefer it to be like on the opposite side or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Each one of these other rooms are kind of interchangeable dependent upon where you actually want to place them. So for the showers, if you want to place them here, you'll want some block of quartz, some block of iron. We'll also need some quartz slabs. We'll also need some netherbrick fence and some glowstone. We'll want some tripwire hooks. Where are you? There they are. And we will also want... Are we missing something? I don't think we are. I think that we've actually... Oh, we'll also want some stone slabs. So this is the shower area. For this, we're going to want to start in this corner closest to the hall, so the far corner closest to the hall, and we want to, on the wall, going from left to right, do this sequence of blocks. Do 2 block of iron, 1 quartz, 2 iron, 1 quartz, 2 iron, 1 quartz, 2 iron, 1 quartz, 2 iron, 1 quartz. That'll lead you all the way up to the door like that. What we now want to do is we want to extend each one of these blocks up by 2. So where you have the iron, you want to extend the iron up by 2. Where you have the quartz, you want to extend the quartz up by 2. So it wants to look a little something. I'm not done yet, am I? I don't know why I started saying it wants to look a little something when I've not even close to finished. It wants to look a little something like this. What we now want to do is on the floor, in front of where you have the iron, you want to have a 2x2 area of stone slabs in front of the iron. So it wants to look a little something like this. So those bottom iron blocks, extend them out each by 2 with your stone slabs. Take out your block of quartz and do 2 rows of block of quartz in front of each one of your block of quartz rows. So coming across, we want to have 2 rows of block of quartz in front of each one of those block of quartz rows, like this. We then want to take out our stone slabs and we want to place a layer of stone slabs on top of this back row of quartz slash block of iron row. We then, with our tripwire hooks, I almost said tripwire hooks. Tripwire hooks, we want to place a single tripwire hook in front of the top right hand corner block of iron inside of each one of these cubicles. We then want to completely redo the floor of this shower area with our block of quartz. So we just want to do the entire shower floor with block of quartz. We just want to redo it. It'll take a second or 2 because, of course, well, it's a lengthy process. Give it a second or so. We're also, now that those showers are done, by the way, we've pretty much finished the showers. We are going to be adding a little something to them in just a second, but the showers are pretty much done and the layout is almost complete as well. Once you've replaced the floor with block of quartz or quartz slabs, we want to just kind of like further separate the showers from each other with rows of 2 quartz slabs. So just to further separate the showers, can you see where you have the rows of quartz? Add quartz slabs on the floor coming towards you like that. So once you've got the showers complete, what we now want to do is grab some stone bricks and 1 row away from the windows and in line with the pointy out part of the showers going from like left to right. So you can see where like this shower, how it has like this pointing out block of quartz, and this shower, how it has this pointing out block of quartz. We want a row of stone bricks that is one row away from the windows, and it wants to span the entire shower section like that. What we now want to do is add some lighting to this place. The lighting is going to look as such. 1 row away, so starting from where we'd like to start the shower section, except on the ceiling, we want to be in line with this corner block in this top corner of the room. We want to move diagonally outwards like this, and we want to place a nether brick fence. Miss 1, going to the right, nether brick fence. Miss 1, nether brick fence. Miss 1, so on, so forth. Keep going right until you eventually have all of your fences placed. Place glowstone underneath each one of those fences. It might take a try or 2 to place them underneath each one of the fences, and we have some lighting. We also want the equivalent lighting on the opposite side of the room. So starting from this corner of the back of the room, now moving in diagonally by 1, we place a fence, miss 1, place a fence, miss 1, so on and so forth, until we eventually reach the opposite side. And then with our glowstone, we just want to place, oh my god, missed 3 times. We want to place glowstone underneath each one of those fences. So we want to have something which should look like this. We have 2 rows of lighting, and that is the shower area. I think it actually looks quite nice. Maybe you want to change things up if you don't like it, but if not, that's the shower area complete. I don't know too many more things that you could add to this. Maybe add some realistic looking water or something. I'm not sure. Maybe some drainage. I don't know. If you have more ideas for the shower room, feel free to add them, but I like it as it is. Once you've got that taken care of, we need to knock this block down here. Once you've got that room taken care of, we can now move on to the next room. So the next room that we're going to do is the cafeteria, and it is on the opposite side of the building, but still on the same side. So in the back corner, this is where the cafeteria is going to be. To take care of this, we're going to need some block of quartz. We'll need some... I'm looking for it. We'll need some white stained glass pane, and we'll need some different varieties of carpet. We'll need white, black, then like 4 other colors, like red, orange, yellow, and green all do. And we'll also need some quartz stairs. If we can find some, that'd be nice. There we go. So, for the cafeteria, you're in this corner right here. So, like, the opposite corner closest to the hallway where you walk in. And we want to be in line with this second row here, starting from the wall that takes us to the hallway. And we want to do a block of quartz that almost comes to this window. We want to be 1 block away from the window. We then want to do another row of block of quartz in the front of this row of block of quartz. We then, with our white stained glass pane, want to put a border around what we've made. So starting from on that second row, going from left and looping all the way to the right, we want to have a layer of glass that just kind of like separates that counter from everything else. We then want to, on top of this first row of block of quartz, going from left to right, we want to miss a block, red, miss a block, orange, miss a block, yellow, miss a block, and we don't actually need to place any more. I thought that we needed another colour. Grab, let's say, polished andesite, because it's one of my favourite materials. Why don't we grab polished andesite, destroy the blocks in between the coloured carpet, replace them with andesite, like that. Then, in front of this, we're going to want to have some tables. This is kind of like a little serving area. It's not that complicated because we don't have too much room. We're going to have a couple of tables in here. So, in line with the edge of the serving area, closest to the window, we want to leave a gap of 2. Actually, we want to leave a gap of 3, so that'll be 1, 2, 3. Place 3 benches, or place 3 stairs, I should say. Then leaving a gap of 1. Place 3 stairs, that's 1, 2, 3, like that. And then in front of these 2 rows of stairs, we want to have a 3x3 square of block of quartz in front of each one of these benches. 3x3 block of quartz is 1 row away from the stairs coming towards the hallway. We then want to have 2 rows of stairs on the opposite side of the table. That is, again, 1 row away from the hallway, 1 row away from the actual eating table. So now we have a serving area, now we have a seating area as well. You might also want to light up this room a little bit. Moving across the hallway, that's the cafeteria done, by the way. I mean, I guess I could give you... There you go, cafeteria, just in case you want to pause it, just to give you a couple of reminders. Very small room. On the opposite side of the hallway, we have what is going to be kind of like... Even prisoners get visitors. Okay, so for the visitors room, we want to have some quartz stairs, and we want to have some stone slabs. Where we have the door here, so the door, the part that is closest towards the hallway, this thing, we want to be 1 block outwards in relation to the andesite at the bottom of the door. We want to move 1 block down, then move 2 blocks to the right, that's 1, 2, and we want to place a quartz stair. Leave a gap going to the right by 1, place a stair. Gap 1, stair. That will leave us 2 blocks away from the window, 2 blocks away from the wall. In front of each one of those stairs, we want to, leaving a gap of 1, place a stone brick slab. 1 block away from those slabs, we want to place quartz stairs facing the opposite way. Then, 1 row away from the stairs facing the opposite way, we want another row of stairs. 1 row away from the stairs, we want stone brick slabs. 1 row away from those slabs, we want quartz stairs. We can also install another entrance if you want, just for the sake of symmetry. So this entrance will be right in the corner here, and it will look a little something like this. Perfect. That's a visitor's area. A little bit boring, I'll admit, but I didn't know how else to do it. It's a very small room. So those are each one of the individual rooms for the prison. Maybe you want to add doors to them, maybe you want to add labels. I'm going to leave all of that stuff up to you. I'm not going to add any of that stuff because I don't really feel as though it's necessary, but that is every single one of the rooms of the prison 100% fully taken care of. That's everything. That's all of the rooms. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to work my way out of the prison, and I'm going to show you what you can do to the entrance to make it look a little bit more interesting, and then we're going to have to completely revamp all of the ground of the prison. So, once you've got the entire inside of the prison taken care of, that's the inside done, we now want to move to the outside part. To take care of the outside part, we're going to need some cobblestone, we'll need some andesite, we'll need stone bricks, and we will also need some cyan stained clay, And we'll also need some block of quartz. Oh, we may also want to grab some quartz slabs as well. So, what we want to do is this. We completely want to... Actually, it's better to describe it this way. We want to take out our polished andesite, come all the way to the front left-hand corner of the front left-hand corner tower. In front of this corner block, we want to destroy this block, and we want to have a row of polished andesite which connects this, like the front left-hand corner of the front left-hand corner tower, to the front right-hand corner of the front right-hand corner tower. We want to have a row of polished andesite which connects both of these towers together. This will take a second or two because, of course, this is quite a big area. I believe that there's somewhere between like 80 and 100 blocks between each one of the towers, so it's going to take a second or two to do this. Still waiting. Oh, it's taking a while. Oh, I know it's taking a while, don't worry, I'm well aware. So, there we go. We have our row of polished andesite. Now, we want to, leaving a gap of 5 between this row of polished andesite and coming outwards from the prism, we want to leave a gap of 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the ground. And then in this 6th row, so leaving a gap of 5, we want to have another row of polished andesite. And this is parallel to the first row, leaving a row of 5. And inside of these 2 rows of andesite, we're going to have a layer of cyan stained clay with a block of quartz, and it's going to form a road. We're going to be placing a road in front of the prison. How do the prisoners get dropped off? You will maybe have been wondering to yourself. Well, there's a road in front of the prison. We just hadn't made it for the actual building tutorial because it's not 100% necessary. So we're just adding the road to the front of the prison, and we're also going to make the outside of the prison look a little bit nicer. So this is where the road's going to be. What you can also do is, you can see the 2 front corners of like the little walkway to the entrance. In the ground, just kind of like connect those and the edge of the road together with rows of polished andesite. So we want to have something which should look like this. What we now want to do is we want to dig out the areas in front of the fences here, and we want to replace them with stone bricks. So these areas, these will want to be stone bricks. We want to dig this center area here, the walkway that leads from the road to the prison. We want to dig out this area, and this wants to be cobblestone. We want to dig out the area in between the 2 rows of andesite. We want to dig out this area, and we want to place cyan stained clay. I'll show you how to make the road markings afterwards. It'll be easier if we dig into the clay. So, that is what we want to do. It's going to take a while. Let me remind you, the road's going to be cyan stained clay. The center bit that walks us to the entrance is going to be cobblestone, and the bits either side of the entrance are going to be stone bricks. I'm going to go away and do this because this is going to take quite a while. So this is what the outside of your prison should look like once you have added all of that stone and cyan and all of that good stuff. Remember, the center part of that path, cobblestone. Bits on the outside of the wall, stone brick. Road, cyan stained clay. Let me show you how to add the markings to the road. So the markings to the road is very simple. You want to be in the middle row of the road, which is the 3rd row, starting from either side, and you want to find the 3 center blocks of the road, like not just the middle row, but the 3 blocks in the center of the middle row, which are right here. They're in line with the entrance. You then, going left and right of this, want to leave a gap of 3, so like 1, 2, 3, knockout 3. Gap of 3, knockout 3. Gap of 3, knockout 3. You want to keep repeating this until you reach the end of the road. You'll know when you're finished because it just won't look right. Like, you'll get to the end of the road and there'll be like a gap of 3 on the right here, and you'll be like, obviously can't go any further. Do that on that side, do it on the other side. So we're at the center block again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth until you eventually reach the end of the road. Then we're going to fill the center of this in with block of quartz, or alternatively, I prefer white wool. So we're just going to fill this in with white wool. Originally, I'll admit, I was going to use block of quartz because that's what I did on my original, but I like white. I like white wool. I don't know why. I prefer that texture over the block of quartz. Both are valid. I like the white wool a little bit better. Fill all of those holes that you made in with white wool, and then you'll have something that should look a little bit like that. That's the front of the prison. And if you guys want it, I might try and make some sort of vehicle to transport the prisoners, and I might throw it on that road. We'll have to see about that. But that's what you want for the front of the prison. Pause this if necessary if you're still working on any of that. I imagine you are. It takes a little while to do all of that. Once you've got that completed, hit play. You can move on to the next bit. So the next part of this, we're going to need stone, and we're going to need some stone brick stairs. Take your stone brick stairs, and going all the way around the base of your prison, you want to have a layer of stone brick stairs. And this starts... Actually, does it go... No, we won't make it do that. So it starts... Can you see the entrance fence? Well, it starts on the inside of the entrance fence, and you want to do a layer of stone brick stairs that starts all the way there, and it goes all the way around the base of your prison. What does this accomplish? Not much. I just think it makes it look a little bit nicer, but you want to go all the way around the base of your prison, and you want to like move through that fence, for instance, and then move to the opposite side, and then eventually we're going to hit the little step that we have for the very back of the prison. You want to do stone brick stairs, and see, there's a step, move all the way through that, and you just want to have a layer of stone brick stairs going all the way around the base of the prison. This doesn't accomplish anything really practical, but I like it. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. If you then wanted to, I think that you could add some more iron bars on top of this if you wanted to. I didn't design it that way, but you could. I just like the prison looking a bit more interesting. Really, I should have added this in with the actual building tutorial, but I was of two minds whether I liked it, and I've since figured out that I do like it. So, add a layer of bricks. What we now want to do, and this is going to be one of the longer parts of the prison, we want to actually turn the yard, the prison yard, into a yard. And to do that, we're going to need stone. It's just stone. That's it. That's all we're going to be using. We want to knock out and fill the entire grass part of this, knock it out, replace it with stone. It is going to take an incredibly long time. I just had a different idea for the yard. I was going to do something, but now I've changed my mind. So, we're going to need to complete the yard some polished andesite as well as the stone. And what we want to do here is we want to be 2 blocks away from like the prison and the fence and what have you, and we're going to actually carve out the perimeter for the actual, like, the yard where the inmates can actually hang around and they can do sports and stuff. So it's going to majoritively look like a big giant square, but what we're doing is, can you see the andesite where we have the 2 entrances here, like onto the yards? We want to take these 2 andesites, and we just want to kind of, this is so hard to describe, but we want to have a big giant square where the yard's going to be. This will leave us a fair amount of space on the, like, the most outer parts, but let me show you. It should look like a big giant speech bubble or something like this when I've finished it. So we want to have something which should look like a big giant thumbs up. This is what we're going to have for the yard. This is the shape that I want. If you want, you can just completely fill it in with stone. Like, carve out the entire area, fill it in with stone, but I think I prefer this. I think that this is going to be a bit more interesting than that. See, the original idea for this, for the yard, was I was going to just completely resurface the area with stone. Just regular stone and be done with it. But I think that that is just a little bit boring. I think that that's boring, so I'm not doing that. Instead, I think that it'll be better if we do have some grass showing, because that will then show some contrast between the actual, like, yard area, and it will show some contrast to where, like the prison towers, because I don't think that the prisoners would be able to go anywhere near the towers that the guards would be in. It seems as though that the guards probably wouldn't take very kindly to that. So I don't know. I think that it just, instead of it just turning the prison into a big dull grey blob, which is what I'm afraid of with just resurfacing the area of stone, I think that if we very clearly like put some boundaries for the yards, like this, and you can change the shape of these if you want to, then I think that that would be a bit better. So like they're the two front ones, and then on the back it's going to be a very similar story. So on the back we're still going to have like the two pathways leading towards the back here, except it's going to be one big massive shape on the back, because we don't have any fences on the back. We don't have any fences on the back here to obstruct things, so we're just staying 2 rows away from the fence, and we're staying 2 rows away from most things. But you guys can hopefully see what I'm doing here. I think that yeah, that's the right line there. And then I might have to start from the... Let's see here. That has to be destroyed anyway. So we have a big U shape here for the back of the yard. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this block here. I'm going to knock this out from the andesite for the step just outside of the back of the prison. And I'm just going to connect this to the little walkway that we have here. And if you wanted to, you could add additional like security here, like you could add an additional fence here, further fortifying the prison, or you could just leave it like this, or you could add flowers to the prison maybe. Is that a good idea? Flowers, does that make the prison look a bit silly, flowers? Or would it be good to get some colour in there? I'm not sure. I guess that's kind of up to you. I guess it depends on your definition of prison. But this is what's going to happen, and I'm not doing this on recording because it will take ages. So can you see where I have dug into the ground? We have to go quite far. Can you see where I've dug into the ground? That area I'm going to replace with polished andesite. Inside of those areas, I am going to... Actually, shall I use white instead? No, I'll use andesite. So, where we have the grooves, I'm going to place andesite. Inside of those areas, I will then dig out and use stone. I'll be back in a second once I've done that, and hopefully it won't look ridiculous. I'll be back in a moment to show you what it looks like. Wow, did this take a while to complete? So, this is what it should look like once you've carved out the border for the yard, replaced that with polished andesite, destroyed the center of those borders, and replaced that with regular stone. You'll end up with something that should look a little bit like this. I think I made the right decision with having a shaped yard rather than just completely filling the area in with stone. The reason being is I quite like the obvious separation between the actual prison and the yard. Like, as you look at it from the outside, you can see it doesn't all just meld into a lump of grey. You can see that there's some green in there as well. I quite like it like this. And that is the prison, ladies and gentlemen. That is the inside, and that is the outside, 100% fully completed. I imagine you're still working on the yard for yourselves. Yeah, you'll probably be doing that for a while, but you don't really have to pause the video from this point onwards because the tutorial is finished. So, why don't I show you what this looks like as you're actually walking through it, like in survival mode or what have you. So, let's say that you're an actual prisoner or whatever, or you're on tour on prison, and you pull up in a vehicle, you pull up on the road outside the prison. You walk up through this entrance right here. We have the yard on the left, we have the yard on the right. You notice the watchtowers, you're a little bit afraid. You walk into the entrance here, you're greeted by somebody working at the desk. You have to go through the left way because on the other side here, you'll have some sort of security officer. You have to scan your items through here, whatever you're bringing with you. You'll probably get that weird wand thing, like some sort of like security, like metal detection or some sort of detection here, and you're allowed to go in. You've been cleared. So you walk through this door, the officer's behind that door, but obviously they need a way to get in and out. Or maybe they don't, maybe that doorway isn't necessary. But this is the ground floor of the prison. You can see that there's a way out going out onto the yard here, but we don't want to go there yet. On the left and on the right, we have 8 individual cells. They're all identical, pretty much, but in here we have toilets, we have a wash basin, we have beds, we have a shelf, we have a little bit of storage space maybe, or maybe just a counter. You probably wouldn't have storage space because they don't want prisoners... They don't want prisoners making any of these. Let me show you what we have in here. They don't want prisoners obviously making any of these. They don't want them having swords or shivs or knives or concealing anything like that. So, highly doubtful that there'd be extra storage space than necessary. That's the entire ground floor, just prisons. or just cells I should say. Moving on to the second floor, up these staircases. We can't go behind that staircase, we don't want them mixing. Here we have the warden's office, that's directly in front of us. We have bookcases on the left, bookcases on the right, we have a nice bit of carpet here, we have a desk, we have a chair. It's quite nice in here, I kind of like it actually. On the left of here we have the security room. Not bad, I like the security room. On the very end of the prison here, open this door, we have the... Oh, what is it called? I can't believe that I've actually forgot what this is called. We have solitary confinement. Only one person in this cell. There's no added extras. Toilet, basin, bed. That's all you get in a white room. Maybe they're even a little bit crazy. That's what the white's for. Here on the opposite end of the hall, we have some showers. Those are all shower areas. If you wanted to, you could add some more water to those. These are kind of like benches that you have in shower areas, maybe to put your clothes back on and stuff. I'm not sure. Other than the shower area on the second floor, we also have on the opposite side of the building, we have a cafeteria area. This is where you'd eat, you'd get your food up here, you'd take it to the table, you'd eat. On the opposite end of the hall, you also have a bit of a visitors area. So you'd sit down here, you'd talk with your loved one or whatever lawyer, I don't know, at the other end of that table, you'd discuss whatever needed to be discussed. And in the center of the prison, right above the previous staircase, you have another single staircase which takes us up to the roof here. Have a nice little bit of a room, and you can get out onto the roof. Alternatively, if you don't want to come up again, you can go down the staircases, and this will lead you to the outside part of the prison, where we have a yard. It's quite big, it's expansive. Those are the towers. I didn't decide, in the end, I was going to allow access to those towers. I decided against it, because I don't know, I didn't want to ruin the aesthetic of the towers, but if you wanted to, you could knock out these blocks for the towers, you'd put a floor in, and then you could quite easily have some winding staircase to get up to the top of the tower. I didn't want to do that, but you definitely could if you wanted to. That's the prison. That's all there is to see. I think it actually looks quite accurate. Not that I've ever been to a prison, to be honest with you guys, but I think it's quite accurate. It is missing a couple of things, like a couple of rooms, like where would the prisoners do laundry? Where would the security guards hang out? Where would this happen? Where would that happen? There are a couple of things missing, admittedly, but for the most part, I think that we've pretty much nailed it. I think that it's a pretty good looking prison. Does take a long time to make, but definitely worth it if you want one. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share, any of those things. All of them. It'd be lovely if you could help me out. I spent a lot of time on not only the interior of this prison, but the exterior. All of it. I spent a long time on all of this. So long. So I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share. It'd really help me out. Comment down below, what do you want me to make next? I'm getting a lot of requests for a castle recently, so I might be making a castle next after this, but let me know, what do you want me to make? Check out the card system. In there, all I'm going to be leaving is a link to the original prison tutorial. That'll be in the card system in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind. Please, it'd really help me out. Comment down below, what do you want me to make next? I'm always in the comments. Check out the card system if you've not already, for whatever reason, made the prison. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.